Ray from Whimsical Pictures here, bringing you my monthly manga pickups for the month of May 2017. There's not much to introduce this time. We're just going to go through my one anime pickup, then my new Sustain the Industry manga titles, followed by my used manga pickups, and that's it, just like usual. So to start with the anime that I picked up, I did pick this up used for a good price, which is why I got it. I always saw it in the store and just thought it was too expensive to justify for just a movie, but this is Only Yesterday, a Studio Ghibli film directed by Isao Takahata, who directed A Tale of Princess Kaguya and Grave of the Fireflies. And Grave of the Fireflies is really the only film I have seen by him, but I really love it and I really like his style a lot. So Only Yesterday has been very high on my list of Ghibli movies to see, and I was really excited to see it get an English release finally. So, but like I said, it was always too expensive for me to justify, so I saw it for a good price and I grabbed it. I have not watched it yet because I haven't been watching much of anything recently. I just haven't been in the mood. Like, there's a new season of Natsume's Book of Friends, like one of my favorite things in the universe ever, and I haven't even been watching that, so that's how behind the times I am, I guess. But I'll get around to it eventually. Next, we have one of the most exciting releases of the month, for anybody who's been keeping up with recent anime. That is Descending Stories, Showagen no Kurakugo Shinju, Volume 1 by Haruko Kumota. Ugh, this anime was so good. It was so, like, trippy. The experience of watching a show, and as you're watching it, like, knowing this is one of the best things you've ever seen. Like, you're watching one of the best anime ever made as it's airing. Really trippy feeling. So, of course, eager to read the manga it was based off of. This is a 10-volume series about the art form of Rakugo, which is the art of sort of comedic storytelling, traditional Japanese thing. And it follows basically this guy, Yakumo, throughout his entire life. And then even into the generation after him. It spans decades. From, you know, when he's like a little orphan, first being taken in by a master Rakugo storyteller, to his death, and the generation that comes after him. And I just, like, it's so good. It's so good. It's all about, you know, the clash of tradition and the modern world, and what it means to be an artist, a creator, what Rakugo means as this traditional Japanese form of performance, you know, banging up against radio and TV and all that. It's just, it's so good. I will say I'm preferring the anime over the manga because of one of my favorite aspects of the anime, which is how they show the Rakugo itself. It's beautiful. It just really gets you into it. You feel why Rakugo is so great. You know, whether a performance is good or bad. It's absolutely transcendent the way Studio D managed to capture this art form in an animated medium. And I just think that, I don't know how a manga without voice acting and without those cinematic transitions that the anime uses, I don't know how it would manage to reach the level of the Rakugo performances in the anime, but unfortunately this doesn't really. Maybe it does later on in the manga, we'll see. But obviously it's still plenty worth reading. Even if I would personally recommend the anime first, this is so worth it for the drama and the characters. I can't even describe this in any sort of intelligent manner because I love it so much. It's perfect. It's the closest to perfect that anime can come. I don't know. Next we have a book from Kodansha that I actually won in Apollo Gray's giveaway. So thank you very much to him for sending this over to me. Haven't read it yet, but this is Ichi F, a worker's graphic memoir of the Fukushima nuclear power plant. Was very interested in this book, as it is exactly what it says on the tin. It's about a guy who's working at the Fukushima power plant after the disaster that occurred there, and he actually was sort of a well-known mangaka before he started working there, but he ended up working there, obviously. So, a lot of color pages. But I'm very interested in reading this, seeing his perspective. I know it's supposed to be pretty sort of workman-like and slice-of-life-y, kind of just showing the work that he's been doing more so than sort of the tragic effects of the disaster that occurred there, but still very interested to read it. Very glad we got it in English. Next we have another catch-up volume that leaves me one volume behind with what we're actually at, which is volume 4 of Welcome to the Ballroom. I still really love this series, shonen sports manga about ballroom dancing, and I need to get the 5th one. Another great cover. So yeah. Next we have another of my most anticipated books of the year, and that is the first omnibus volume of My Brother's Husband by Gengoro Tagame, who is probably one of the most well-known gay komi artists, at least here in the US, gay komi being manga, usually erotic manga, but not always, but usually erotic manga by gay male authors for a gay male audience. This is his first sort of family-friendly work, and his first work to run in a mainstream seinen magazine. And it is the story of basically this guy whose twin brother passes away, and that brother's husband, this Canadian guy named Mike, moves to Japan to live with him, his husband's twin brother, just to sort of, you know, reminisce and get a feel for what his husband was like, you know, in his younger years before he met him and everything. And it's very much meant to be an educational manga aimed at, like, straight dudes, particularly. Straight people who don't know much about LGBTQ issues. This guy here, Yaichi, I think, is his name. You know, he starts off very homophobic, but then sort of learns more about Mike and his brother, and their life in Canada, and LGBTQ issues and stuff. And he's spurred on by his adorable little daughter who really just, you know, hasn't heard of these things before, and she's really curious, and she thinks Mike is awesome and wants to brag about her cool new Canadian uncle to all of her friends at school. So even though it has this very nice sort of educational angle to it, it is just a very well-crafted slice of life series. If you like, you know, Barakamon or, what else? Sweetness and Lightning, that type of series, this is going to be right up your alley. It's really great. Really high-quality hardcover release. I wasn't actually expecting it to be this small, but I actually like this size a lot, so I was actually pleasantly surprised by that. The book looks just as good naked. Very cute pictures. The end papers are very pretty too. High quality paper, matte paper on the inside. It's just a very well crafted book, and a very good story that is important and worth owning in every possible sense of the word. So, yeah, very happy about that. Whoop. Next, we have the other side of the spectrum, Volume 2 of Beauty Manga, Bloom and EU. I loved this volume. The first one, I was like, I thought it was promising, but I wasn't sure about it. It hadn't sort of reached its potential yet, I think. This volume is like everything I wanted and more. It actually introduces something very rare for Yuri manga, which is a male sort of friend character who's just there to sort of be someone on the sidelines who knows about their relationship and is sort of supporting them. And he's really funny. I like him a lot. I like all the members of the student council. Ever since Fruits Basket, I've always liked stories that are like about the student council, because of my deep love of Yuki-sama. But yeah. I love how their relationship is developing. I love how it's dealing with sort of the more physical intimacy aspects of the relationship, as well as use continued sort of feelings that she wishes she could understand how Toko feels about her, but she just doesn't feel the same way. Like, maybe she's starting to feel some romantic feelings towards her, but she just doesn't understand the whole, like, kissing thing. Which seems to continue setting her up as, like, an asexual character, which would be awesome if this series went there, but I really don't think it's gonna. But maybe. I mean, the guy, too, seems like he's asexual. He's certainly not interested in, like, actually being in a relationship with anyone. He just kind of wants to cheer them on. So, I don't know. Could go in an interesting direction, but no matter where it goes, I am really enjoying this series. I think that this cover is gorgeous, too. Next we have Shularoon, The Girl from the Other Side, Volume 2. I loved this volume more than the first because it adds sort of layers of darkness and intrigue, as well as developing the relationship between the teacher and Shiva, the little girl. The art continues to be beautiful, and look like sort of vintage fairy tale illustrations, which I love. I love the use of the hatching, gorgeous. And it's just a really endearing relationship between these two sort of haunted characters, and a really creepy, sort of foreboding world around them that's based on a variety of different world mythologies. So I'm very interested to see where this goes. Next we have another great Yuri, Kase-san and Book 2. This one is called Kase-san and Bento. This was another one I absolutely adored. Oh my gosh, look at them. There's line stickers of these girls and it makes me so happy. But this is like the perfect combination of like sweet and adorable Yuri with sort of passionate romantic Yuri without being skeezy at all, which tends to be the case with a lot of more passionate Yuri series. This is just a really sweet story about two girls in love, and it deals with some of the realities of being gay and in love in high school, while still being super adorable. I really like a couple of moments in here where Yamada is just like overwhelmed by how incredibly gay she is. She's just like, man, why am I so into boobs? And it's really funny because it's super relatable. Yeah, highly recommended. I think this would be a great place to start if you haven't read Yuri before, because it sort of does have that more realistic angle to it while also, you know, having all the sweet warm fuzzies that you would expect from a good sort of soft Yuri title. Next we have a Yuri title that I didn't enjoy as much. This is Kiss and White Lily for My Dearest Girl, Volume 2. I enjoyed the couple in this more than the couples in the first volume, but that's just because of the lack of dubious consent. But at the same time, without the dubcon, there was also no passion, and there was no sort of uniqueness to the characters, which was the things that I enjoyed about the first volume and made me want to pick up the second. So it's like, why can't I have both? Why does it have to be one or the other? Why do I have to be, like, questioning whether this relationship is consensual or, you know, questioning whether these characters, like, actually are in love and want to be, like, intimate with each other. Yeah. I tried, man. I tried, but I don't think this series is for me. I think I'm gonna drop it. Oh well. They can't all be winners. Next we have from also Yen Press. That is Yen Press's foray into Yuri, and I really wanted to support it, but, you know, if I'm not enjoying it, I'm not gonna buy it, and that's kind of how it is. But I hope they pick up more Yuri in the future. We have Volume 7 of Monthly Girls Nozaki-kun. This is more of the same, and I love it. I love Nozaki-kun. It's really funny. It makes me laugh out loud several times every volume. I love its style of sort of affectionate parody, and that combined with, like, really fun character-based humor, a lot of which is based in sort of defying gender expectations, which, you know, that's an extra tick in the box for me. But yeah, really enjoying this. Then finally, for new books, we have something I threw onto my order because I keep saying I'm gonna get this and then read the 2 books in the series, and then I just never do, so I was like, I should just get it. And that is What a Wonderful World, Volume 2 by Inio Asano. This is a 2-volume series of short stories, so very interested in reading this. I've heard nothing but good things, and I love short story collections, so yeah, I'll get to this probably sooner rather than later. And then finally, we have 4 books, 2 series, from the used bookstore. And the first one is by the creator of Happy Hustle High, which I haven't read. But this one just had a premise that was kind of interesting to me. And that is Punch, Volume 1 and Volume 2. I don't know how many volumes this is or how many volumes were released in English, but I saw these and they looked cute, and I guess I was kind of in the mood for, like, cute, sort of early 2000s shoujo. And this is about, like, a girl whose boyfriend or fiance or something is a wrestler, and that sounded kind of fun, so I'll read it soonish, probably, because it seems like a fun sort of escapist title. And then finally, a pickup I was very excited about, although it is 2 very random volumes in the series. This series is very hard to get any volumes of, so I was excited to find these. It's Lupin the Third by Monkey Punch, the original manga. This is Volume 4. It's got my girl Fujiko on the back there, and Volume 14. So, very different volumes. But usually Lupin you can kind of read out of order, so much like the show. I love Lupin the anime, so I'm excited to read some volumes of the manga, and I'm just excited to have them because these are quite hard to come by. Lupin is great. And that's it. So those are my pickups for the month of May. It's like 15 books or something. And I am super excited about most of them. So that's good. Good month. Let me know what you guys got this month, what you've been reading, if any of these titles have piqued your interest. If you've ever read any Yuri titles, you know, which ones have struck your fancy and why. And I will see you in my next video, guys. Happy reading!